What up, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. Who y'all humping on today? Because I'm at home.
Girl, these bills, this back to school and these bills. That's what I'm humping on.
What you humping on? Well, I'm in the bed, okay? My kid just left. My little kid just left, so I'm chilling. Ain't no hunching today. But we do have a show for y'all. So we talked about this on Thursday of last week, how the housewives were just not giving what they were supposed to be giving. It wasn't giving, and neither Karma nor myself has watched the latest episode. So we've decided to give you guys an Am I the Asshole story. We invaded Reddit and we got some Reddit stories, and we're gonna just try this out with y'all and see what y'all think. Split it up, share them, and see what y'all think about these stories. Because I see them, they're pretty popular, they're crazy, the stories be outrageous, and I'll be like, what? Like, sometimes I think it's made up, sometimes I think it's real, but we're just gonna treat them as they're real and give our thoughts and opinions. And hopefully you guys can comment as well, either comment on the live or comment on the video posted, and we could just converse about it throughout the week. And then we'll be back, I guess, tomorrow. Yeah. For hot topics. Okay. And I definitely want to talk about Derek Jackson's interview. Okay. I got some stuff to say about
I gotta watch it, girl. I tried to get through it, girl. I was up in my mouth, girl. I was like, okay, because I blocked him. I blocked him on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So I just so happened to see a stitch of somebody talking about it on TikTok. So I didn't even know he dropped the interview on that same podcast. So I gotta go watch it, girl. I gotta go.
So I watched, because they did a 2-part, just like with Danae, how it was like 2 different days. And I watched the first one. I need to watch the second one. I'll probably do that tonight before I go to sleep.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it tonight, girl.
It irritated me, but yeah, I don't think that he did what he was thinking he was gonna do.
I think he did exactly what he thought he was gonna do, because honestly, his following hasn't waved. Like, he still has millions of people following him. I'm not saying he might not have took a dip, but he has a very strong, loyal fan base.
So I think half of the fan base that stayed are just staying to be nosy.
However you slice it, unless his engagement is down, his following ain't really. I mean, it's still over 1 million for sure.
I don't think his sales are as good.
That's what I'm saying. It might be engagement, and his posts may be messing up his brand deals, and it may be the sales for stuff may have been impacted. But it seems like on Facebook, like they still be talking about, like they still follow him. So
yeah, so I recently unfollowed him on Instagram. I hadn't unfollowed anybody, you know what I mean? Like they just be there. But I was just getting annoyed with his videos. It was like becoming too much. Like the algorithm was showing it too much for me, so I was getting annoyed. But in his comments, people don't be like saying nice stuff. So I think a lot of people just stay to troll, but he's still gonna have some loyal fan base. You know what I'm saying? Just what it is.
I'm gonna watch it. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. That's gonna be a hard watch. I don't know what's gonna be harder, me trying to catch up on Roa or watching this damn Derek Jackson interview, to be quite honest. But
hey, Resy Pooh. So Rez, listen, we're doing Am I the Asshole today. So we're gonna see how this goes.
Yeah.
We're gonna see how this goes. So Karma got my Am I the Asshole today because my co-host is the bomb, right? She got them for me. She pulled them from Reddit, and I'm gonna read them. I listen. I was not that kid that liked reading out loud in school, so I'm reading this fresh. I got my readers on and everything. So let's see what happens. Okay. All right. So the reason I like this one was I just like the actual title. I said, oh, that sounds juicy. So here we go. Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my grandchild due to her not being my biological grandkid? Already, when you hear the title, you want to say stuff like, damn, like, huh? Like,
That's one I gotta ask sis. Like, what's the rest of the context, babe?
Right.
Because that first sentence is a little whoo. So that's what I have to ask people. Like, can I have a little bit of context? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to call you an asshole just off the title, sis. So what
Right.
is
I
you
almost want to call you asshole just off the title, but we're gonna read this thing and see what exactly happened because kids is innocent. Kids is innocent. All right. So we'll see what happens. So I was told to come here. My son was married to Emma. They got married and had a kid. Apparently, he had doubts about if he was the father and got a DNA test. He was not, but has been in the kid's life for 4 years, and his name is on the birth certificate. So he is legally responsible and he loves the kid. Now, my issue is that before they divorced, I was never allowed near the grandkid. I asked to babysit, but they both cited that my home was unsafe and they do not trust me with the baby, even though I raised 4 kids. They wouldn't even bring the kid to family events like Christmas. They did this with all of his siblings. I know I am more country than them, but it hurt a lot. My other kids' relationship with him is strained because they believe he is looking down on them now that he got a city job. Ain't nothing wrong with a city job. Okay, so now after the divorce, he has the kid almost 50% of the time and keeps asking me to babysit. I told him straight up that I will not babysit the kid since she is not my grandkid, and you made it clear I was not good enough to babysit when you thought she was your kid. Huge argument, and he thinks I'm awful. I just think he wants someone to parent due to not being able to rely on his ex-wife anymore. And then she did an edit. The reason he claimed my house was unsafe was the horses. This is in 2 other comments. Nothing about the house has changed. Everything is locked if it is dangerous. I've watched my other grandkids and there have been 0 issues. So is she the asshole? All right. Then we got some content.
So with the context, I'm not gonna say she's an asshole, right? I it's a fucked up situation. I'm not gonna say she's an asshole for it because and the thread on Reddit was a little much because that's why she had to edit because they was like, well, what about your house was unsafe? No. If it was unsafe then, why you wanting to babysit now? So that makes me more inclined to believe that she is probably right because you're asking for babysitting now. Right. Yeah. So if it was unsafe, if they was too country, if it was whatever stigmas you felt like did not align with the way you wanted to raise your child, then why you want her to babysit now?
No. Exactly. That now
it's giving a little user. So I don't think she's an asshole.
So when you were okay and you had your city job and your fancy wife and y'all had y'all little baby, y'all ain't want country grandma to watch the baby. But now that the marriage has fallen apart, you're divorced, you got this kid half the time by yourself, you need some extra help, country grandma don't look all that bad. Now, see, I don't feel like it's wrong for her to say, nah, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to watch it because I couldn't watch it then. I do feel like just saying stuff like, that ain't my grandkid is asshole tendencies just to say that.
I mean, it's not nice, but it's not untrue.
Right. It's not untrue. But
it's not untrue. And at some point, that baby should know that anyway for her own identity, that her father
is not her biological father.
It's not her biological father. I think it is very important for kids to be able to know all facets of their family. Whether, she is also, that baby is also old at some point in her life, who her biological father and family is. And see, even with that, honey, makes me further believe that grandma not the asshole. Because what is that? What is that? What do you mean? So you done signed the birth certificate? Where the daddy? And what do you mean you thought it was yours and had doubts and then signed it anyway? What's going on there? See, that's giving me toxic. I'm not about to bring grandma because that sounds like it's a lot going on. Because how did this little baby come to be what it is now?
So when she was okay, did she get pregnant before the marriage? Like, see, that's why Julie got a
said,
whole bunch of follow-up questions.
but they definitely said in the context that we had that
Yeah.
he had doubts. So that to me means that you slept with him and another partner around the same time. So whether it was
Right.
before the marriage or during the marriage, there
Right.
was a time of commitment or a time of, gray area where you was
Right.
popping it for both. And then
Mhm.
he asked for a DNA test and it was not his, and then continued to sign the birth certificate.
But see, I also want to know how like long was he brand new? Like, was he brand new, like saying, "Oh, you can't watch my baby," before he found out it wasn't his child? Like when he thought it was biological, his child, right? Was he like, "Oh no, baby can't come over there"? Da, 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 da. Then it fall apart, and he like, "Oh, hey mom, can you watch the kid?" You know what I mean? Like, I just want to know how brand new he got. First of all,
I think that information is a little irrelevant, because however you slice it, you're taking care of that child as if it's yours. So whether you knew it was your bio child or not, you're acting as such that you're saying she's not safe for either, but she's safe now.
To me, the way my petty level operates, it lets me know how much of an asshole I should be. Because sometimes when you an asshole, you justify with being an asshole. So was I not good enough to watch your kid when you thought it was your kid? Like, I need to know that, just as far as me and my level of being an asshole. Another thing that I want to know is more so the sibling situation, like all of it. I just feel like City Job just thought he was better than the family. City Job thought he came up and he was doing better, and now it didn't work out. You want to go back to your country family.
And I think, and listen, we all make mistakes. Y'all know I like to let people redeem and evolve themselves. But I didn't even hear Grandma mention that a conversation of reconciliation or an apology was had.
Right.
So that probably also added to the levels of, now I'm not watching this baby. I do agree with the comments about Grandma should not be telling that baby that, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Grandma's place to be having that conversation or saying things around that baby, such as you're not my real baby. My
That's
real
the thing
grandbaby.
too, Karma. Like, when you first found out this wasn't your biological grandchild, was ever since then have you been saying, "Well, that ain't my grandchild," or are you just saying it now? Because like, although that's not your grandchild, I still feel bad for this innocent kid that's been thrown into all this mess. So you know what I mean? Nobody. I don't
that is where the accountability of that is the accountability of her mother. Right, because ideally we would love to be like, oh well, if that was your grandbaby then and you've been taking care of her, that's fucked up. It could be fucked up, but people have the right to feel like, if that's not my biological child and I was deceived into loving a kid that I didn't have an option for, I don't want to have any parts of you, or this situation is traumatizing to me. That all falls wholeness on the mother that decides to make those decisions, and that's something she's gonna have to reconcile with herself and her child. So I'm still not mad if Grandma feel that way, because
we talk about this all the time. We talk about consequences to your actions, and that is just what it is. I don't care if they the asshole, if they're not the asshole. You cheated on your husband and made a baby with somebody else, or your boyfriend before you got married, your fiance, whatever happened. You cheated on a boy. It was two possible daddies. It ain't his baby. It ain't his family responsibility to continue to love your child. It would be nice if they do, but it's not their responsibility. They're not entitled. They don't have to. They're not obligated to. This is consequences of your actions. You need to find that damn daddy and see if grandma over there want to help out as well. I think this is okay. I was having this conversation at work about how if I was a dude, I would make a chick get a DNA test. Wife, girlfriend, slide, whatever. I would, just because this happens and it's actually pretty common. I know 4 men personally that have raised kids that weren't theirs. Later found out it wasn't theirs. 2 of them was married. So I don't feel like, it's wrong to ask. I don't want to know. Is it wrong to want to know?
No, there was actually, and I have to Google it, but there's some state legislation, maybe in Tennessee, but a few states who are going to mandate DNA tests at birth.
They should.
Automatically out the gate. And no, I don't have any issues. I feel like the people who have issues are probably the ones that have issues.
I was talking to a coworker about that, and she was like, you wouldn't feel upset about it? Like you wouldn't feel, I was like, no, because I know it's their baby. If I didn't think it was their baby, I'd probably feel a certain kind of way. But I think I put myself in the man's position. I would want to test. So I will never have doubt. So I will always know. So you can't trick me, because some people just tricky. No, let's just be honest. So ex-wife was wrong, and this is consequences of her actions. Y'all shouldn't have been bougie not letting the grandma watch the kid in the first place. And now that the stuff blew up in your face, you need grandma. Well, you're gonna have to pay her. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to be on grandma's side based off the context that we got. I don't see grandma being wrong. This is why you got to be careful what you say to people as far as saying things like unsafe house or things like that. You got to be careful about that, because then you got to stand 10 toes on that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know what I mean? Like you got to just be careful with your words and what you say to people. You never know when you got to spin the block.
Right.
Never know when you got to spin that block. And if there was concerns about horses and other things, I don't know why that just couldn't be a conversation of, I don't want my baby out in the stables. Why would you label this as, you know what I mean? Like I ain't feeling that. So what else?
He had that city job, girl. He thought he was doing something with that city job. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. We got another Am I the Asshole? This one is funny because I have experienced a situation in the same realm, not exactly the same, but similar. So, and I just know the title. So again, I'm about to read this, and this one longer than the other one. Okay, so am I the asshole for naming my baby the same as my ex's kid? Okay, here we go. Me and my partner, let's say James, were in a serious relationship when we were younger. Life happened and we eventually broke up. The breakup was friendly. We decided not to stay in contact, and we don't have each other on any social media platform. During a relationship, I mentioned that if I ever had a kid, I would name them Jackie, short for Jacquees if it's a boy, or Jacqueline for a girl. He joked saying he didn't really like the names, so I better start looking for alternatives. I said I've never really told anyone this, and I like the names for a very long time, so it would take a while before finding a name that we would agree on. Throughout the relationship, the topic would always come up jokingly, like he would suggest obvious names we would never choose, like Bartholomew or Archibald. Am I saying that right? Archibald, whatever. I wouldn't name my kid that anyway. Fast forward, years later, after the breakup and staying single for a while, I met my amazing husband, married him last year, and we're expecting our first child. Talking about names, I obviously suggested Jacquees and Jacqueline, which he eventually agreed on. However, after catching up with an old mutual friend of James and I mentioned that I was pregnant and told her about the names. She gave me a what look and told me those are James' kids' name. I didn't know this, and she showed me his Facebook profile. Apparently, he has a 3-year-old girl named Jacqueline and a 3-year-old boy with the middle name of Jacquees. I hope I'm saying that right. Ain't that how that boy spell his name?
For conversational purposes, that's his name today, Jacquees.
Okay. At first, I was upset because he stole the names, and he definitely knew those was my first pick. But after talking with my husband about the whole thing, we still decided to name our little girl Jacqueline, since it's a common name anyways, and we already fell in love with it. In my mind, the names could have simply grown on James over the year. After I gave birth to our child, I received an angry message request from James's girlfriend, who I have never spoken to. She accused me of still wanting James and copying their daughter's name, etc. I explained to her that I've always liked the name. However, she wasn't having any of it. Old acquaintances closer to James start saying the same thing, that I copied the name. I tried connecting with James, but I heard nothing so far. I don't really think it's a big deal anymore. However, from the time, whenever someone brings it up, I do question if I should have opted for a different but similar name, since my priority was having Jackie as a nickname to begin with. So, am I the asshole for this? Can't hear you.
Right. That was a lot of pressure that wasn't even needed for her, in my opinion. Like, I this just seemed like when I saw the title, because I didn't read them just for the being able to like talk in real time. But when I read the title, I'm thinking like you was gonna tell us you named this baby Jacqueline because you and your ex decided that name together. Like I thought it was gonna be some real shadiness to it. Girl, what? Like I don't. I don't even know if this is an asshole topic because it just seems weird to me. I wouldn't even have went through all of that.
If we're gonna be honest, James the one that stole the damn names because you gave the names first, and James said he ain't like it, and then go on with his life and name both his kids the names you came up with. So if anybody stole the names, it was James first. Let's talk about that. Second, no, like whatever. It was your name. You're not an asshole for sticking to the name that you had your heart set on before you even got with James. You had these names picked out. So,
girl, nobody would have known this if they ain't typing on the internet. That's how irrelevant to me all of this context is, because it is such a common name, and that this didn't have anything to do with the relationship itself. Like, listen, there was somebody I had to talk out of because he was gonna give his daughter my middle name, and I said absolutely not, because he wasn't gonna tell his baby mama. See, that type of shit is shady.
mm-hmm.
You talking about a Jacqueline from whatever many years ago, and I just feel like all of this was just much. And then you went to your husband with it. I would have just named my baby what it was and kept it moving. There's a lot of people like in mutual passings that our kids have the same names, and it wasn't really planned. Like, girl.
So I'm gonna tell you my story. So back in my my city girl days, back when I was young and free, going out on dates with guys and stuff before I was a parent, I had briefly dated a young guy. He was nice. He was nice enough. We was cool, whatever. But I moved to Florida. My grandma passed away, and I moved to Florida to help out with my grandpa. So I didn't get to pursue the relationship, right? Because I was moving. So he was nice though. We kept in touch like as friends. We were friendly or whatever. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? He would see me on social media and keep up with my life, right? And I was friends with his cousin, so he would always check in on me through his cousin, like, how's she doing? What's she been up to? You know, just trying to catch up, making sure I'm good, I guess. I don't know. But he did like me a lot. His cousin would always tell me, like, girl, he just used to like you so much, right? And I was like, oh, okay. So fast forward, I meet my daughter's dad, I get pregnant, I have a little girl. So you see on my social media, my baby, you see her name, life is great or whatever. About 6-7 months later, he has a baby, and he names his baby the same as my daughter. And, initially I was like, oh, okay, just a common name. I'm not going to like say he named his kid because I named mine, whatever. I wasn't going to put that on him. Her name is London. There's plenty of Londons out there. So I wasn't going to do that until his cousin told me that he intentionally did that to have some type of connection. That was weird. I'm gonna say that was actually weird. His wife that he had the baby with supposedly hated me because I was like a girl that maybe got away. I don't know, but I bet you she don't know that baby's name is the same as mine. So.
And honestly, the way I would have blacked out, I would have beat your ass and his, because I wouldn't have known. You know what I mean? I'd have blacked out. I'd have thought you had something to do with it. He had something to do with it. That is a horrible thing to do. Like a horrible thing to do, to intentionally name a kid after an ex, and the other person doesn't know. That's just that is horrible.
Some kind of way. Because my name, right? Like I'm named after my grandmother, but Julie is like my nickname. And I spell it Juli. And that was actually the way my father, one of his girlfriends in high school, spelled her name. She spelled it Juli. Now, when they decided they was naming me after my grandma and my nickname was going to be Julie, my dad has mentioned to her that he had dated a girl in high school, my mom, with the Juli. What did she think about that? And my mom was like, oh, I like that. That's cute. So it wasn't like she didn't know. But It could be shady if he ain't tell her where he got JULI from. So yeah, I just feel like, you know what I mean? That's just, even if you don't do it, you should say something. Because I don't want to know that my kid is named after my man's ex or his ex's kid. Like something similar with his ex. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't like it. But yeah, I don't think that she technically in this situation is an asshole. First of all, like I said, she had the name first. So I don't think that even is in the same realm because you had the name first. Sorry.
Girl said she holding on to this. I would have been signed the birth certificate and moved the hell on.
All right, let's see. We got another one. Am I the asshole? Okay, for accusing my wife of workaholism and a money obsession in front of our friends. Oh, okay. So just off of the title, I'm already thinking you leaning more towards the asshole because we don't do that in front of company. You know what I mean? Like I done seen so many people, males, saying that women be emasculating men in front of people, yelling at them in public or whatever. So you don't get to embarrass me in front of people. Don't be saying, and you're a mother and I got a sexy dress on a public platform.
But we thought that was grandma by the title. And we got some context. So maybe
right.
It may not be as bad as it sounds.
All right, so let's see. My male, 33, wife, 25, female, seems to be a workaholic and obsessed with her work. She recently graduated with her master's, but she's been supporting herself since she was 18 by running an Etsy shop. I got laid off 3 years ago and have been unable to find a job ever since. See, karma. First paragraph ain't looking. It ain't looking. Apart from working.
Watch this. Is this Keke Palmer baby daddy?
Okay, girl, because
we just changed the name to the series of events.
Apart from working, my wife also writes books as a hobby, which she wants to self-publish once she finishes edits. She wrote 2 so far. She's also just started a true crime YouTube channel. You think that's enough, right? Wrong. She goes swimming 3 times a week and has language classes. It's ridiculous. I had some friends over a few nights ago, and we were playing games and having, I guess, a beer. It says a B. My wife doesn't like my mates, but they brought their girlfriends and wives, so she could have made an effort. Instead, she told me she didn't even know they were coming, as I didn't tell her about them, and she already had plans. She locked herself up in her office to write her book or script or whatever. I was pissed. I texted her multiple times, but she ignored me. When she went to the kitchen to get water, I confronted her and told her she was a workaholic and money obsessed. My friends heard it. And she actually had the audacity to say that if it wasn't for my debt, she wouldn't have to work this much. I told her she was out of line. She called me a mean asshole and some other things. She slept on the couch in her office that night, her decision, and we are not on speaking terms. My mates agree with me. They generally think she's stuck up anyway. But said it was asshole for airing her dirty laundry in public and should have addressed it privately. I guess they're right, and I'm the asshole for that. But I was angry. I wonder, was I the asshole? Because, I don't know, girl, his typing is crazy. Because if I need to apologize and bring up the issue privately. Sorry for the typos. Okay, thank you, bro, because you had a million typos in this one. It was bad. So he does not work. Got laid off 3 years ago. Still don't work. His wife is very driven. She just got her master's. She works hard. She writes books. She started a YouTube channel. She goes swimming 3 times a week, and she's taking language classes. He invited his friends to the house and their spouses and girlfriends and didn't even tell her they were coming. She don't really want to be bothered with these people. She said she already had plans to go in her do some writing because she's focused. So when she came out of the office, he cornered her and told her she was an asshole and obsessed with work loudly enough for the company to hear. And then she told him the reason I work so much is because I'm paying off your debts and you ain't got no damn job. And he said that was like crazy. How dare you disrespect me like this in front of my friends? How dare you with your workaholic ass? Is he the asshole? There we go. That's my breaking down a little bit. What you think?
Because I was up here smacking like a motherfucker listening to this. This girl do yoga. She speaks 5 languages.
Yeah.
She up here changing the world, doing fundraisers,
Uh-huh.
and you've been laid off for 3 years.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so my thought process is this. I think that it's obviously much deeper than her working. I
Yeah.
think that he needs to evaluate where he is in his life because it sounds like projection. That
Mm-hmm.
because he was laid off in 3 years, it's giving. He feels a little stagnant, and that she is growing at a rate and a pace that they are no longer in sync.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of that, the things that he may want to do with her because she has other ambitions, drives, or focus, they're not able to do together. Maybe as because I don't know how often they hang out with these friends or what it looks like for them, but he clearly may have more time in his schedule to do it than she does. So I think their issue, yes, he is the asshole because I think your issue is not about her working. I think he needs to evaluate that he is not in the place that he wants to be in his life, and therefore he is upset about her doing way too much.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like he's very resentful.
Mm-hmm.
The more things she's able to do, and he hasn't told us nothing he has been able,
Nothing.
nothing. I
Nothing.
think that's where a lot of the stemming, and she 25, so she younger than you.
Yep. And doing the daggone thing. Go, sis. Go. So what stuck out to me the most at this point was that he said his friends already think she's stuck up. So you already running your mouth about her to your friends, and this is probably why she did not even want to hang out with your friends and their girlfriends and wives, because they already have a bad impression of her because you've been running your mouth, because you are resentful, that you ain't got shit going on, and she does. So I definitely feel like you're the asshole. You're gonna put her in a position to hang out with some people that already think she's stuck up. They don't really like her anyway. You got them coming in her house, didn't even tell her they was coming. That's asshole tendencies. You don't just invite a whole bunch of people over and to be like, oh yeah, people come and get dressed. No, that's not. No, that was asshole for me.
And this is the part too where a lot of marriages fail and relationships in general because where the hell was the compatibility in the beginning? You said she was 18 and she owned her own Etsy shop. She was already a go-getter when you met her. So this idea like, well, she stuck up anyway, that didn't stop you from dating and marrying her.
Right.
So it wasn't until you're not maybe able to keep up with maybe her ambitions, then it sounds like it becomes a problem. Too many times people are getting with people where your core foundation, y'all may not have the same core values.
Right.
Even if she is a workaholic and you're someone that values, quality time or downtime or whatever, she sound like she already was doing it. So where was that in the courting stage for you to realize that some of your core values or standards were off?
He just got too much time on his hands now. He ain't working.
That's what it is. You never paid it attention because you don't have any
working. At one point, she was working. So she was grinding, you was grinding, y'all was both working. You ain't been working for 3 damn years, sir. And it
right.
You had to
make Lawrence. He reminded me of Lawrence on Insecure. God damn, Lawrence.
Talking about 3 years. And you ain't even say like you had an accident and you disabled or nothing. No, you got laid off. Okay. Sir, a man is a provider. You don't get unemployment for 3 years. So I'm trying to figure out what you doing. She handling it all? And you gonna
complain to her? She paying off his date. That's what she said. She said she paying.
You complaining that she's handling it all. Okay. All right. Yes, sir. You are the asshole. Yes, you are. I done got pissed now.
And this is why I'm single, because ain't no man whose name ain't on this Duke Energy bill about to talk to. You're not about to do that. You're not about to say it to me. That don't feel right in my spirit. It don't feel right in my spirit. That's why I'm single now. But yeah, that it to me it's very clear that he's a lot of his own issue. Because like, damn, 3 years you haven't pursued any of your
I mean, how you
creativity?
want to
You can't start a podcast, nigga.
YouTube gaming channel or something, bro.
It was like it wasn't nothing you could do in 2023. You couldn't be on the TikTok talking about some gang. You couldn't be no AI person, nothing, no OnlyFans, nothing.
Nothing. But you mad at her. What is her Etsy shop so I can buy something?
I was thinking that too. I was so mad they don't be telling us Etsy. Like, well, what's this Etsy shop? We might have to donate to a possible legal fund in their future. And I just want to make sure she great.
Right, exactly. Yes, sir. You are the asshole. Yeah, for sure. Okay, next one. I got two more, y'all. Two more. Am I the asshole for saying that my kids are well behaved? See, this already is like deceiving. This already deceiving because, of course, to say my kids are well behaved is an asshole statement. However, were you trying to say that somebody else's kids aren't when you were saying this about your kids? Let's find out. Let's get some more context for this, okay? On my phone, and English is not my first language. Oh shit. Okay. I am a father of 4 kids ranging from 23 to 6 years old. The other day, we were all at a restaurant and there was a family with 3 kids. I say from 10 to 6 years old, running around, yelling, and basically making a mess. At one time, one of the kids came to our table and took a piece of bread. Before me or my wife could say anything, the mom yelled at the kid to put it back. She then turned to me and said, "Kids, eh? They're all the same," with an apologetic smile. Before I could think, I blurted out, "Clearly not. Mine are well behaved." I get that it was not very polite, but she took it as if I had just spit in her face and began yelling at me. 10 minutes later, they were out of the door. My wife thinks that comment was an asshole comment. I think I just answered her by affirming and providing a counter example. What do you think? Yeah, I think you were an asshole.
Yeah, it definitely was an asshole. Absolutely you were. Absolutely you were. 100%. Don't even got to blink my eye. Don't have to think about it. It was uncouth. It was, it wasn't necessary. Even if you felt that way, you didn't have to say that. There was just no need for it. Talking about I was just offering her. She didn't ask. No. She was saying that because in the moment she probably was just trying to have a parent in one-on-one. Like, girl, I'm sorry. Here you go. Talking about something. No, that don't never happen to me. My kids is well behaved. Okay, fuck you and your kids. She was wrong if she said that, right? If she said fuck you and your well behaved kids on her way out the door, then she was wrong. You know what I mean? I don't be saying, people be saying little slick shit, and then when somebody said responses, you act like I spit on you. No, fuck you and your well-behaved kids. How about that?
Yeah,
that's
he
what I
was
was
insulting her and her kids, and that was rude. She said sorry. She stopped. What irritates me is when you got some unruly children that's behaving a certain kind of way, and the parent ain't even trying to do nothing about it. Like, it's one thing that, you know what I mean, if she was just sitting there at her table letting her kids run around, not even trying to get them come over, like you can't take their food, like whatever. Like if she was just sitting back letting it happen, that's one thing. But she came up, she told the kid to stop, she apologized to you. "I'm sorry, my bad, kids," whatever. You like, "Well, not my kids." Like, come on. You was being a dick. For
but
real.
You know what's funny? And I don't know if maybe because obviously I have to raise children with autism. Mm-hmm. The minding of my fucking business that I do is on 1,000. So if your kid is in Kroger's and he tearing up aisles, I promise you I'm gonna walk past you and your kid like I don't see anything. I don't ever feel the need to impede on people's parenting. Obviously, like if there's a kid in a safety situation, like I'm gonna try and stop them and pivot them back, but I don't ever feel the need to be like, you ain't see your kid running. Like I don't have that type of time.
Yeah,
I don't have that type of time.
If they're not affecting me or mine, I really have no comment. The only time where I will get involved is if my kid is involved. Like I remember when London was 2 and she went to the doctor and there was a little boy running around the doctor's office hitting people's kids, and his mom was just sitting there chilling. He was walking up and hitting other children, and he was probably like, she was 2, he was probably like 3, so he wasn't that much older than her. But he was just walking up. He didn't get to London, but he kept walking to the other kids and would smack them, like, and then just go to another one and smack them. And like that was it. Now he probably had something going on with him. I'm not saying there wasn't nothing wrong, but the fact that the mom was sitting there letting her son just hit people, not apologizing, not going up to tend to him, nothing. Maybe she was tired. Maybe she was going through postpartum. But when that little 3-year-old walked up to my daughter and cocked his hand back, I said, "Little boy, I promise you, I don't care who you are or what you got, I will knock your little ass out." and
I'm okay with that. And two things can coexist, which is you and your children may be having some issues. But if you and yours touch mine, we have problems.
The whole problem.
In this particular like context of the story, it's like her kids were having a moment. Like you said, she tried to de-escalate. She apologized for the moment on behalf of her children's behavior. And here you go talking about son, you don't have that problem because your child is well behaved. Right. But see, this is why I'm like, I think when I looked it up, it's like an ambivert. Cause like I'm extroverted on social media, but I don't care to go nowhere. Cause I don't have the type of patience.
Yeah.
For stuff that made me so mad just to watch someone tell another parent that is
it pissed me off even more because he can't act like he wasn't trying to be a jerk. He was really trying to be a jerk because this lady apologized. She tended her kids. Like it wasn't like she wasn't doing anything about it. She apologized. And then when she tried to relate to you on a parent level, like, I'm sorry, kids do, the most, I'm sorry. You like, yeah, well, my kids don't act like that. So you being a jerk. You were being a jerk. That was not necessary. And the fact that your wife even said it, yes, you were being a jerk. Yes, that's it. Like it ain't no other way around it, sir.
And he's probably an asshole a lot of times in that.
He probably always say slick shit.
He probably always say slick shit. That's probably something she just has to swallow and just be like, here you go again. Because ain't no way you just am I the asshole. You do this type of shit all the time. Everybody tells you the asshole. That's why you trying to get confirmation from the internet.
Mm-hmm. And everybody in the comments that I've seen and I'm looking at so far totally agrees that this young gentleman was an
asshole. Complete asshole.
Yeah. But it's a couple of people that's talking about the mom saying she using her lack of a parenting. Yeah, see, when we get to these kind of conversations, you gotta understand that
they probably don't even have no kids. I don't see, and that's another thing. There's certain conversations I don't engage with. Like I told y'all many podcasts ago, I don't get into married people's business.
Yeah,
I am divorced. I am not married anymore. I don't get into married people business. A lot of people be jumping into parenting business, and you're not a goddamn parent. Mm-hmm. And so it is very easy to criticize or talk about what somebody should do, but until you have properly executed what you are saying, sometimes your range in conversation is held short and you should be quiet. People who have a lot of that thought process sometimes majority of them aren't even fucking parents.
And then you gotta be real careful because life will throw stuff in your face. You can sit and talk smack about something until life is your life. Until it's your life, right? It humbles you so quick to understand. Every kid is different. Every parent is different. Sometimes when you have kids, you go through depression. It's hard to actually be able to jump and respond and do this kind of stuff because you ain't even taking care of your own self because there's so much going on. So it's easy to judge somebody on parenting, but let life happen to you. And you have some damn sympathy for people because you will get it, right? Because life be lifing, for real. Like I remember being a young woman with no kids and seeing kids run around like Walmart or
girl, we used to cut them up like, girl, this is not gonna let them do that. Girl, that couldn't be me. I'd have been beating some kids' asses if they up here knocking stuff down. Girl, there you in the store running around chasing them. Life happens so quick. That's why I'm talking about people in that type of manner because it'll spin the block real quick.
And I remember it was London too. It wasn't even because one thing, Karma and Karma is my big sis in this autism situation because you know what I mean? My son is going through the program as we speak with, autism. And that's not even how I got humbled. It was London. In London, was just 2-3 years old, running around hiding in the clothes and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, you making me that parent that I've always talked about. It wasn't nothing I could do. So yeah, it's easy to judge somebody until you win the shit yourself.
Girl, I got a better one for you, girl. I got a call. Now remember I had a praise where I said Elijah had a great day. for first school. But I always tell y'all the first week of school, it never fails with his transitions. I'm gonna get a fucking phone call. Y'all, why I found out my son? Because you know, the last couple weeks of summer, we've been chilling. So he been like in the house in his underwear, chilling. Okay. Girl, why the hell they called me talking about my son? Took out just chilling in his underwear. Just went ahead in his classroom. Fuck these clothes.
He was hot.
And was just down. I asked him, like, so you took your clothes off at school? And he said, yeah, I did. Like, you know, so I say this to say, until you get in it, you will never understand. Because I never thought I would get a call to anytime I get hit with his teacher, like we go together and she does the we need to talk shit, I'd be like, God damn. And I call her because that's my age. She called me 6, 7 o'clock at night. I be hearing her kids run around. She do the deep side and be like, so I just want to, he's fine. I just want to get some information because Elijah didn't used to just take off his clothes. Girl, I don't know what to tell you. For every old behavior we try to get rid of, a new behavior enters. So now I have to be cautious around how long I allow him not to put on pajamas and just go to, like, that's how now I got to even more put a routine in, because now you done got comfortable walking around at home that you going to school and just feel like, all right, y'all,
I gotta get comfortable.
Let's get comfortable.
I feel him. Shoot, I be want to take my bra off at work, so I feel him.
Just taking. Can you imagine that? Just going to somebody just pulling bras out their shit. That's my son right now. He just taking clothes off, looking like
he's trying to be comfortable. Why we gotta have clothes on in the first place? He's simple.
He was walking down like he was that Erykah Badu music video, just taking articles of clothes.
Can I get a window seat?
Can he get a window seat? And so, till you in it. You know, that's why I keep my mouth off of people, honey. I be like, listen, I got enough stuff going on. Now I got to make sure my kid wear clothes. I don't have that type of time. So he was definitely an asshole. What else you got?
I get it. All right, last one, y'all. Am I the asshole for telling my wife to work more if she wants to help her sister financially? So, you know, I think I'm liking reading the titles first and kind of thinking what's going to happen. So I'm gonna probably say he not the asshole just off the title. Now it's probably gonna get into the story where he is an asshole or how he could be the asshole. But if she not making enough money and she trying to use the household money that actually is for the household to help her sister, she might need to go ahead and get some more money coming in, because our household might not be able to afford your sister. And because she your sister, you love her, you want to help. But now you taking money out of, you know, my household with bills, with food, whatever. So maybe he's saying you should pick up some extra hours because you're taking from the household. We're going to see, though. Let's just read the whole thing and see what it say. All right. My wife is 38 and I, male, 37, have been married for 12 years and she has 3 kids. Oh, no, we have 3 kids. We've been married for 12 years and have 3 kids, 10, 8, and 5. We both work full times and have the kids in daycare during the summer until school starts up again. We both make decent money, but with the cost of literally everything going up more and more often, our budget is getting tighter. We still live comfortably within our means, but we are saving much less and are being more conscious of our spending. Our youngest is starting kindergarten this fall. So that will help because we aren't spending on daycare anymore. But our oldest kids are now more in sports and extracurricular activities, which pretty much offset any savings what we would be doing on childcare. We aren't anywhere near struggling, but we are definitely more aware of how we spend our money now. My wife's younger sister, Jen, 30 female, is 6 months pregnant with her 3rd child. Jen is not married, and this is her 3rd different baby daddy. Only one of the first 2 fathers is involved, and the other is a complete deadbeat who regularly skips child support payments. Jen recently called my wife and told her that her current baby dads left her and she's freaking out, asking for help, whether there be money, a place to stay, or anything. Ooh, child. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. Okay. My wife's parents are both passed away and they have no other siblings, just each other. So obviously my wife wants to do whatever she can to help. But we don't have the space to house them and don't have a lot of extra money to give them either. My wife wants to give Jen a few $100s every month and start watching her two older kids so Jen can keep working. Personally, I think that idea is short sighted because Jen won't be able to work after the new baby comes. My idea was to dip into savings and pay for a lawyer for Jen to do and for Jen to do a better job of getting the child support she is owed. I would rather bite a bigger bullet once that death by 1,000 cuts over months and months. But my wife says that won't help put food on Jen's table every week. I laid out our budget and asked my wife where we can make cuts to support Jen because I don't see it. I asked her what she would willingly be willing to give up or have the kids go without to support Jen. She got mad and called me heartless for not wanting to help. It turned into a fight, and I ended up telling her that if she wants to support her sister like this, then she's going to need to work more or get a second job because I'm not compromising our family budget long term. All of our finances are shared, so it's not like either of us have our own money to use however we want. I also know that my wife and I are the only family Jen has and agree that we should help. But adding hundreds or possibly more to our monthly budget isn't going to work. Jen needs more help than we can provide, and she needs to find resources that can do for her. But my wife thinks I'm being an uncaring asshole about this. All right. I don't think he's being an asshole.
Like this. This was a little bit more. This was a little bit more complex
Yeah.
to me. I like this. I don't. This is another situation where I don't think it's about being an asshole at all. I think I understand both
Yeah.
perspectives
Mm-hmm.
of the situation. I particularly like that he asked her, "Well, what would you be willing to sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
in order to help the sister?" Now, maybe that was a thing because maybe she didn't want to view it like that, like she would be taking something off of her kids' plate. But it sounds as if she would need reoccurring support, and your husband is saying your finances can't do reoccurring like
Mm-hmm.
every month.
Right.
I would, but he did. But then I was a little confused because he said he would be able to pay for a lawyer for child support.
Yeah, he said a few $100s to just get a lawyer to be a little more forceful with child support because that's like a solution that could help her in the long
The
run.
lawyer costs a few $100s.
I
That's
don't
that
know.
that part I didn't quite understand.
I don't know. And
Like,
you
are you
know,
going to
they
help
do,
with
they
his
do have
legal
they
fees?
do have they do have like legal aid where they that you make payments and it's at a fixed rate. So maybe they got that kind of lawyer because when I was going through my divorce, they were talking about all of these legal aids where it'd be if your income based a certain amount, it would cost a certain amount. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
I remember when I had to go through custody court for my daughter, I had to pay $4,000 retainer fee for my lawyer. It wasn't no hundreds or nothing. So, but I
Yeah.
didn't go through legal aid or none of that. And they do have those programs, so maybe that's where it could be a few $100s. But again, with child support, it's not guaranteed. So it's great to be able to spend a few $100,000 or whatever if you're thinking you're about to get some consistency to help you with the household or whatever, but it's not guaranteed. And then they can't really force when they can lock them up. If they lock them up, it's still not guaranteed. Locking somebody up does not equal money for child support. So I understand what he's saying, but as someone that has talked to many people that gone through child support myself, I understand that money's not guaranteed. So you could think you banking on that, but still might not get it.
I feel like if they reframe the conversation, they can find a good solution, because right now the sister is thinking my sister needs food on the table right now, we need to supply some money, and the husband is thinking providing temporary resources is not going to offer her a long-term solution.
Right.
And so I feel as if, like, if they were to sit down and discuss what resources she may be eligible for and then try to meet that at the gap,
Yeah.
so we know that, like, affordable housing has a long waiting list, but I would go ahead and sign up for that. And
Mm-hmm.
whatever free store food banks or food stamps assistance, like, I would be getting applications
Mm-hmm.
for some federal assistance,
Mm-hmm.
and then meeting the gap between the approval time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll help pay this extra $100 for the next whatever, let's say 2 months if JFS is behind, and
Mm-hmm.
then that should be able to get you started. And I feel like that'd be a nice medium balance.
I feel like when it comes to this couple, the way he worded the story, it does seem like the wife is not being realistic. The husband's not being an asshole, he's being realistic. And I like that he's communicating and he's putting his household financial problems first. That's what a provider does. I can't take away from my household to help somebody else and then my household starts struggling. That's not the plan. That's not what we're going to do. My job is to protect and provide for this household. Now I understand you got outside family members that we love and we want to support, but we don't just take from us so we start struggling to help somebody else. That is backwards. So I do feel like I like where his mind is at, and I like that he still understands we need to help her. Like, I'm not saying no, but I'm saying
not in the way that you're saying is going to work.
Like she's not listening. She's not listening to him. And probably because
that's probably because there's no alternative solutions. I think when we talk about things like this, right? And if somebody is like, okay, I'm getting evicted and I have to be out of my house in 3 days. Can I stay with you? And all they can tell you is what's not going to work makes a person frustrated. Yeah. Well, you can't go here, you can't stay there, you can't do this, you can't do that. I think if he reframes it and offers some other alternatives, he did say, do you want to get an extra job? But y'all talking about a whole household. How would that even work? Who picking who up from school? That also sounds like a task. So I feel like we need to say, okay, if this couldn't work, what else could work? And I think she's more frustrated because he may not be giving in the conversation some alternatives to calm her down.
Do you think that that's something that we as adults have to learn or do better, is communicate better? Because I feel like sometimes, like, maybe she's not listening to actually hear what he's saying. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because again, she wants to give a few extra $100 a month to her sister, plus watch her children for her more. Like,
she wants that. Well, the basis is she wants to help her sister.
Right.
This is what she thinks is going to help. If he focuses on the help instead of the finance portion, that's where you can meet the middle. If he could tell her, okay, I hear this is her need, like we're wanting to help her.
Right.
I think we should help her like this because that still meets her need without exhausting our funds, our savings, our time, and things like that. This is some alternatives. What she's hearing him say is no.
Right.
We can't help her.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, because that is kind of what he's saying. We can't help her. If this is the help she's asked for, we can't do it. And that's where the argument is coming instead of saying that, what are some other ways we can help? We do that in our friend group all the time. Like, people, we all have came across very rough financial times where we may not have been able to show up for each other financially, but shit, we still sometimes do this to this day where me and a close friend of mine bring like food trays. Oh, I'm going to Aldi's, it's extra chicken. I'm just gonna make a whole food pan, and then that way you ain't gotta cook over there tonight. Right. Like, there's other ways to help. It doesn't have to be monetary. Right. You just gotta figure out what the base need is going to be. And if it's hungry, we need to get them food. There are tons of resources in the city that can get food from.
Right. There's a lot of stuff they can do. And I like that they're both on board with helping her. But I understand both sides of it. I also understand the wife being that both of their parents are gone. They have no other siblings. She's the big sister. She feels obligated to make sure her little sister is okay and her nieces and nephews are good. So I do understand, like, in a sense, she's the mom now because mom and dad is gone. So,
and I mean, and family anyway, you would hope that if, you know, in a perfect scenario, as cruel as the world is, that your family would be able to show up.
Right.
Ain't nobody else figure it out. If the government can't help you or whatever, you would hope that your family would be able to help you with something. Right. So I also understand that there is no one else, and that is her sister, that is her family. Let's figure something out.
Yeah.
Something out. Let's find a balance to that. I also would have brought the sister into the conversation.
Yeah.
Sometimes we be offering help that hasn't been asked.
Right.
Like, I'll tell people that all the time. I'll ask specifically for what I need. You don't have to give me extra. If you do, that's fine. But sometimes you'll overburden yourself in areas people ain't even asked you for.
You help,
Your sister asked to stay with you. Did she ask you to watch the kids, or do you think that's what she needs help in?
Right.
So I think they should bring the sister into the conversation and they have a family discussion about and a plan right together. Because how y'all gonna plan something for her and she not included?
Right.
You always got to include the person you're helping and keep their dignity and integrity intact. They ain't no charity case.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be independent too. So put them into the table and start having that type of dialogue together about, okay, what is our main needs right now? How can we help attack those? I think that would be a lot better, because I agree with him. Giving her a couple $100 every month and inflation, I don't even know what the hell she gonna do with a couple $100.
Right.
I don't know if that's enough.
That ain't rent. That ain't rent. That's definitely not rent.
I don't know what that is. Maybe it might be some car insurance or something. I don't know. That's why I said they need to sit down. Somebody needs to pull out a budget. They need to see what her budget is. What can she make? Like, it can't just be that. It can't just be, I'm gonna give you some money and watch your kids. It does need to be a sustainable.
Because eventually that's gonna get burnt out. Because even if you do say, I'm gonna give you some extra money and watch your kids, how long? For how long?
And that's why you need a long-term plan, and you need a goal, and say, let's try this for the next 6 months, right? And you want to make the goal reasonable. I mean, we are in a high-ass inflation, so we don't want to say no shit like, I'll do it for the next couple of weeks. It may take a minute, but we need to have like some certain goals and milestones in mind. And then if there's something that happens where we need to pivot, we need to come back and make a new goal.
Now, is it wrong? Is it wrong to have boundaries with helping people?
Absolutely not. You have to have boundaries with helping people. Absolutely. If you don't, you'll run yourself dry. You'll run yourself ragged. People that always want to help too much usually don't like to fix their own damn problems and get validation off of helping other people. Okay. Let me put all of my energy into you and make you where you need to be, so I ain't got to focus on my bullshit. And then I can take the credit for helping you as well. So yes, there should be boundaries to help, because you don't want someone codependent to you. That shouldn't be your goal neither. So there's absolutely healthy boundaries that should be made when you're trying to help assist people. That is very, very important. And as someone who does work in the helping field, I constantly have to make boundaries. Like, I would give my clients my personal cell phone, and they'll call me all the time. I always have to adjust boundaries, because people are becoming codependent. And there were times where I was thinking for them. They wouldn't even have an idea. They would just come to me and say, what should I do? And that was not empowering them to be able to be independent. So you definitely have to continue to create healthy boundaries and helping, for sure.
That's one word I've been learning in the past year, is boundaries and healthy boundaries. Because I am that person that always wants to help people. And the reason I always want to help people is because I pay it forward. I don't know what my situation is always going to be, right? And I want to put out the energy of being someone that helps people, and that's, like doing for people, to where if I'm ever in a bad, tight spot, I will receive that same love and energy, right? So I always want to put it out there to people all the time. Like, I always do it. And people kind of got used to it, to where I would be the one they would ask, like, hey, you got this, can you do this for me? Can you do that? And it was like, yeah, okay, now shit, why are you always asking me? Like, okay.
But even in that, you got to evaluate that sometimes too, because when you give, don't expect anything.
Right.
Because you don't know. And then you're going to be disappointed, because you're going to have expectations of you and someone else.
Yeah.
So if you give somebody $5
from the people, like if I were to give you $3,000 for something, right? I wouldn't expect you to give me $3,000 back. That's not why I do it. Like, if I'm giving to give. I hate loaning money. I don't loan money. I would rather give it to somebody, because I don't want to like end a friendship over money. I think that is ridiculous. So I don't loan what I can't afford to give away. Period. That's like my mindset. And it's not that I want them to give it back to me. I just want to put that energy out there where if I ever were in a bad place, somebody, the universe, would take care of me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The universe will take care of you, but it just may not be the person you help specifically. As long as you don't necessarily have that expectation. That's not to say you can't have like standards in relationships where it's like, I want to reciprocate. If I help you, you help me. But just like in general, just like thinking that people are always going to step in,
Yeah.
sometimes that can be disappointing because it just depends.
Yeah.
But yes, I believe God is always going to
Yeah.
make things happen because of the energy that you put
Right.
out.
And that's partly why I do it. But I guess my issue is when you are that person that people are used to always, if they ask or they need help or, whatever, you always do it. They start always asking you to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, I do it because I love you, but damn.
You have made yourself be able to be a source of codependency.
Yeah, and that's the
You
problem.
didn't help them fix a problem. You put a
Right.
band-aid on a temporary solution. And so
Right.
when you're helping people, like when we give aid to foreign countries, it's to help sustain their government because
Right.
they can't live off of just the U.S. giving aid money. You'll
Right.
just keep passing out money. So if somebody is asking you for money and it starts to be a habit, then there has to be an evaluation of finances so that I can help you because I can't be your source.
That'll be a good thing to say to the president because again, I just heard that he was giving Ukraine some more money. We're gonna have to figure something else out, bruh, because it's rough in the United States paying for shit.
I've always been telling people for months now, I'm just waiting for the economy to crash. I'm waiting on it. I'm okay with it because then when everyone is affected, not just Black folks, that's when we start getting checks.
Yeah.
That's when legislation starts getting changed. So I'm gonna just ride these little $4 eggs out and it's gallons of gas because it's not sustainable. The wages cannot match. I don't care if you do have a job right now, you could be working homeless because $10 an hour ain't getting you no apartment right now.
It's not.
It's
and
not.
Minimum wage is still 7 something.
And if you work for a job for that, you would still be homeless.
Still.
So
And hungry.
Can't sustain. We're going to hit a rock bottom.
Not just
and I'm ready.
Homeless and hungry. I saw something today. Somebody had posted on social media like it used to be like budget friendly and it used to be more cost effective to buy groceries. Now it don't even matter. Grocery shopping is expensive, just like going out to
eat. It doesn't matter. It has no value except if you're trying to, maybe eat a healthier route or be more food conscious about what you want to take in and you want to steer away towards processed food or whatever your journey and your healthy is. But the cost is now the same.
That's right.
It doesn't even matter what you choose to do. The $20 at a grocery store ain't stretching. It ain't stretching
at all.
It is so crazy.
Yeah. I just went to the grocery store. It ain't stretching at all.
Girl, I got a tribe over here. It is so crazy the amount of resources per month I have to find to make things stretch, and I work. And I'm waiting for the economy just to hit a rock bottom. And honestly, that's probably what the sister in the story is going through. She probably ain't lazy. It probably just really is an economic situation of I don't have enough money. Now what? Now what? What do I do?
Do the leper. Like just,
It's crazy. Did you like the fact that they have shared finances as someone who was married? The shared, like, they said they had nothing separate. It was just shared. It was just one bucket, one band, one sound.
That wasn't how we did it. So
that's scary. I don't want to do that.
I don't know how that works. I do like couples that will each have individual accounts and they'll have one joint together. I do like that.
I like that.
Yeah, but
everybody in one hand bucket, one band, one sound. I don't like that.
Works for them. I ain't mad at it. I like that.
I ain't mad either.
I like that he's able to be responsible too. Like, all right, this is you know what I mean?
Now, what happens if she go take the bank card and she go give her sister the money out of the joint account? See, this is why I be like, see, the more I be reading stuff on Reddit, the more single I be wanting to be. Because there's too many. It just makes me know, like, even this situation, I be already thinking of horrible scenarios. Like, why she gonna go ahead and go get her sister money out of that account?
But this is the thing. What if she takes the money out of the account and gives it to the sister, and then he gets mad and files for divorce, and he's like, "Yeah, we're not doing this. I'm gonna take the kids. I'm gonna do." And then she'll be like, oh my gosh, you left me, you're not supportive, but you went behind his back. Like, there's consequences to stuff that we do. You're married to him. This is your spouse. This is the person you need to be having these conversations with. When you go behind their back and you start doing what you want to do, then there's consequences. So
and there's consequences to that. I hope she listens and they take a moment and come back to the table. It's too,
right.
You cannot talk when emotions are high.
Right.
You gotta let each other cool down.
I feel like could be solved. I feel like you guys could work together to come up with a solution that makes everybody happy. But it ain't gonna just be your way, sis. It's not. Y'all ain't got it
My
like
heart's in a good place.
it's in a really good place, and I understand that. But you have other obligations that are priority, which is your family. And that's one thing I said about America. Like, we want to go and send money everywhere else. What about us here? Take care of home first. You got people that's home, like, they want to help all these other homeless countries, but then we got people living on the streets. Why aren't we helping our own homeless people? But we're willing to go help others. I'm not saying you can't help others, but why are you ignoring home?
Oh, because it's politics.
Okay.
These are countries and allies we have to have.
Gotcha.
You get, I mean, this is bigger than the homeless situation here. They sending money to Ukraine and other places because there's other things that goes on that can affect us as a country that they have to then sustain in other areas so other people don't take that territory and we lose. So there's a bigger picture for them. But the fact that, you know, Maui is on fire, and tourists are still going, and Flint still don't have clean water, and Louisiana still ain't all the way built from Hurricane Katrina. I don't understand the balance, but it's all strategic because that comes in only certain areas in America. Remember, we live in different Americas for a lot of people.
Yep.
You really look at the people who suffer the most, they're usually poor and they're usually black and brown.
Yep.
So it's very strategic. So they do help home. It just depends on where you live and who you are, unfortunately.
That part.
That part.
That's that, y'all. Am I the asshole edition? Comment below. Let us know what you guys think about this. Who was the asshole? Who wasn't the asshole? This last one, I don't really feel like either one of them are the asshole.
I think we only had one asshole, and that was the dad in the store.
Yeah, the dad that was like, my kids well behaved. Total asshole.
Everybody else, you know, really wasn't as bad as the title. I think once we got some context here, it was all right.
It was all right. Now tomorrow we're gonna come back, y'all, and we are actually gonna do hot topics. So submit your hot topics now that you wanted to talk about. Anything that's going on in the world, let us know. We definitely, like I said, we're gonna do Derrick Jackson. There's an update with Keke Palmer that they're talking about that I guess I'm gonna discuss. And then there's a few more things. So send us the topics because if you like it, we love it. Make sure you follow both of us on our social media platforms and support our brands. Karma got the journals. I have the books, the links in the bio. Also follow my girl Karma. Y'all know she's trying to get all this 10,000 so she can start making money on TikTok because she done got 2 viral videos already. So her algorithms is popping, y'all. So follow.
We're trying out here. Thank y'all so much for tonight. Let us know what you thought of the show. If y'all like this segment, if y'all have other ideas, just let us know in the comments.
That's right. And we love you. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.